Hello everyone, and thank you for stopping by. In today's video, I'm working on this Tecumseh carburetor with a plastic bowl. I'm going to show you how I cleaned this out and did a repair on it for a no-start situation. This carburetor, as you can see, looks like it was never taken off the unit. All this crud that's on the back side was also on the front. I just cleaned this off while it was on the machine. This has the anti-kickback solenoid. I'm going to take this apart after I clean this crud off, and we'll get inside of this to see what we have. It came off this Yardman machine by MTD. It's 15.5 horsepower, and it's a Tecumseh engine. This machine was working last year. I put it to the side, went to start it up this year, and it just wouldn't start. Nothing, no sputter, nothing. It turns over, but I can't get it going. Well, now I work outside when I work on these carburetors, and here's the reason why. Let me get a better view. This is some of the crud that came off the carburetor. I suggest you wear gloves when you do this. I use old gas to clean the outside of the carburetor. I'm not telling you to use it. I use a paintbrush, a toothbrush, and I'll have something like a small screwdriver, a straw, to get into the little crevices that I can't get the crud out of. And I always clean the outside off before I open them up. In this case, there was no choice. This is what it looks like. It's partially cleaned. It's not 100%, but it's good enough to open up. Now, I'm going to point this out to you. Right up here on the shaft, this is for the throttle, this is for the choke. You have a foam. See this little foam? Be careful not to knock it off. This one was disintegrated. One didn't even have it on there. And what this foam does is you put a little bit of oil on there to keep these shafts lubricated. It's a good idea to drop a couple of drops of oil in there at least once a season. And the only thing holding this carburetor together is this metal spring. Now, I've worked on these on push mowers where they had screws holding them together. This is the first one of these that I've taken apart and worked on. It's getting hot out here. It's in the sun. I'm going to take this inside. Now that I have the bowl off, see what we're looking at. Inside of this, I didn't touch it yet. It was fairly clean. I didn't find any water in it, but see this spring? This spring right here? Don't lose it. It goes right in here. And then the emulsion tube goes right on top of it. Be careful not to lose that spring. I'm working this with one hand. Let me try to set this carburetor up so you can see what I'm doing. On this emulsion tube, you have an O-ring. This one's a little chewed up, but I think it'll work. And you want to clean that out. Pull this. So I'm going to use this gasket again. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'm going to use my wire to poke out all these holes and use some carb cleaner to clean in there. Clean this all up. It doesn't look bad. I don't see any buildup on it, so I'm not sure what the problem is. Now this gas line, it's not collapsed on the inside. The needle and the seat are fine. When I blow into the tube, it'll pass one way, and when I flip it over, the needle closes it up, so it's not leaking. It's an easy way to check it. But I'm going to clean this up in here, even though it looks fairly good. I have it open. We'll get in there. And now, bad news. It didn't work. I put it on the machine, and it didn't work. Now, I disconnected the carburetor by taking the manifold off. I'm going to open this up and do a better job than I did the first time. This holder for the air filter is held on by this one bolt and two nuts on the side. I already took this apart. I just put it back together for the camera so you can see what has to be done. Another bolt goes on the other side, and at the tip of this, it's a torque bit. You need a torque socket for this, or you could probably get it off with pliers if you don't have the socket. Take those two bolts out. It comes off the manifold. Now this is what I didn't do the first time, and I should have. I thought it was okay because it looked clean. Inside over here you have, I'm trying to focus this in on the camera. Camera's not picking it up. Let me turn this. There's 3 holes. I don't know if you can, 4 holes. I don't know if you can see them in here. Right in there. There's 4 tiny holes. That's for your idle. And you can see, if you're not sure where it is, look for the Welch plug. Wherever the Welch plug is, those holes will be on the other side of it. And I'm not taking that Welch plug out because I don't have a kit to put another one back in. And on the other side of the carburetor, the intake, here's where the choke is, I'm going to poke this out. The way the carburetor looked, I really didn't think I had to do this, but evidently I was wrong. So we're going to poke in here with a wire. I usually use a bread tie, and it fits right in. I'm trying to get a view so you can see these holes. Right in there, to the right of the screen. Okay? But inside this carburetor, it's clean, you know. But something isn't working. Because I have spark, I have compression, I'm not getting gas. But I have to say, the spark plug does have a minute amount of gas on it when I take it out. Now, if you don't have a bread tie and you have one of these brushes, just pull one of these wires out. These fit right in there. They're slightly smaller than the hole and they work great. You can also buy a wire kit if you do this all the time. All right. Now, I took it inside again. It's getting warm outside. We're looking at the inside of this carburetor again. And I'm looking, what could possibly keep the gas from coming up? I used the wire. I got it in that pickup tube. I did this before I took the anti-kickback solenoid off. The wire went in and out with no problem. This is the main jet. And if you look at it, it's on the end of the spring. And that does come off, so be careful. And if you, there we go. You can see it's clean right through. So what's keeping the gas? What's keeping that gas from getting into the engine? Now, when I put a light through there, you can see some of the light on the back end, but it's not coming up through the middle. Something's blocking it in here. What's blocking it? That goes in. Come to find out, there's an O-ring in there. I used a paper clip to get that O-ring out. And this wire was thin enough to go through the O-ring. That's why I was getting a little bit of gas on the plug, but not enough to cause any ignition. And the O-ring, I pulled it out and I lost it, but the O-ring was keeping the gas from coming out of here, swelled up, and it actually closed on the inside. And that's what was blocking the gas. So I have to see what size O-ring fits in there and go pick it up. I have the engine specs. It looks like it might be like a 1/4 inch on the outside. So I'm going to take this. Oh, I also checked this anti-kickback solenoid, and you can see here that it moves. Now I'm going to show you that it does work. I hooked it up to 12 volts. See it going back and forth? And you can hear it also. So that wasn't blocking it. That was the first thing I actually checked. You can see it over here. It's not all the way in. There's the main jet, and that main jet gets pushed into that plastic piece, and that O-ring is back in there. That's the setup on it. That little O-ring kept this motor from running. Well, gas wasn't going into that port where it could be pulled up by the emulsion tube or by that little hole on the side right there, where it could go into the idle section. So I'm off to get the O-ring. Well, I was able to find this O-ring of all places at Harbor Freight. Could have ordered it online, but it would have took 2 days to get here. And this is a 1/4 inch on the outside, and the inside diameter is 1/8 of an inch. Now I have to get it in that hole without it turning sideways and causing a blockage. Played around with it a little bit off screen, and I found the best way to do it is like this. Get the main jet, hold it upright. Let me get this on camera. There we go. And just slide the carburetor over the top of it. And then put that anti-kickback solenoid. You screw that in, and you're good to go. I also have another O-ring that I'm going to change on that emulsion tube. When I bought the kit, it came in a pack, so I have it a part of it. Oh, this washer. Make sure you have this washer on, otherwise it'll leak. If you don't have a washer, you should have an O-ring there. And if you don't have an anti-kickback solenoid, you might have a bolt over there. I'm not sure because I don't have one in front of me, but it probably works the same way. Now gas should be able to come through this. Let's go outside and get this carburetor back together. Now remember I told you this little spring, you want to remember to get the spring back in there. Just drop it right in. Go straight down. Here's the emulsion tube. I'm going to change the O-ring on this and put it on this paper clip so I didn't lose it. And that's the paper clip I used to get the old one out. Let's see. Success. Well, it started, stopped it, started again. It's running. Shut it off. Let's try it again. A little more choke here. Let's see. Yep, there it goes. 3 times, 3 starts. Oh, wait. Died out. Let's try it again. There we go. Shut it off, so there we go. Okay, guys, it's running. It's running, started and stopped a few times, and it's a go. Well, guys, we got it going. If you found this video useful or have any questions, let me know by posting your comments down below. Be sure to give it a like, and if you haven't done so already, hit that Joe Z button right here and subscribe. Until next time, stay safe and stay well.